If you don't see Smileback quite like this, specifically I want to draw attention to the tools menu up here. That's most likely your user account doesn't have the permissions. So as long as you have admin permissions, you will be able to access everything under this tools menu. So what you'll see when you're in Smileback, obviously you'll see your own results down here. I'm on a reviews page right now, the CSAT reviews page I selected in this left-hand menu, but this top kind of frame and side frame is always there. So whatever page you're on, you click on the tools menu and then you can go to integrations. And then you'll see there's quite a lot on this page. We have lots of integrations now, but I'm just going to scroll down to the kind of bottom half. And you see down here, we've got Slack and Microsoft Teams. So let's talk about Microsoft Teams first, because that's what most people are using. You'll notice we don't have a kind of connect button here. That's because for Microsoft Teams, you probably already know this actually, because I imagine you're familiar with it. If you add an app to Microsoft Teams, you do it inside Microsoft Teams. So you need to make sure you have the right permissions. Again, in Microsoft Teams, you need to have some kind of admin permission. I'm not 100% sure what they call it. I think they call it admin. But basically, you go to the App Store. You can then search for Smileback. Obviously, you can see it right here. Gives you a little, some little images to let you know what to expect. And then you go ahead and add it to a team. And you choose where you want to add it. So if you are adding this for this first time, then just choose where you want to start. If you are going to add more than once, that's fine. But obviously the first time you do, you need to choose somewhere. So if we just choose the general one, you then click on Setup Connector. And then what may happen is you just then end up on that menu. It should pop open Smileback. If that doesn't happen, don't worry. What you can do is, if that didn't open, you can go onto this little menu with the icons here. You can open up your connectors, and then you can search again for Smileback. And it should show up in your connectors. If you're having any trouble with it, you may need to check your side loading permissions. That's mentioned in the Help Center article, which is in chat right now. If you don't know what that means, don't worry. Open up the link that's in the chat for use Smileback Microsoft Teams. We explain this about side loading, and we actually have a link to the Microsoft documentation that will tell you what that's all about. And when you're ready, you just click Configure, and then you'll see this is the same page that had popped up for me automatically anyway in the first place. If this is your first time adding a Smileback Microsoft Teams connector, you will just need to sign in. So in this window here, you'll see the Smileback sign-in page. If you've already done it before and now you're coming back to add, another connection with that possibility that we now have, you'll instead just land straight on this permissions. And as you can now see, if you scroll down here, there's now lots of different options. So if you did this before, you will have just seen a few things like that are up here. And this is really the kind of heart of this most recent improvement we made to this integration, is giving you these filter options. So let's imagine, for example, we are not going to do anything with MPS today, so let's turn that off. We're just doing CSAT. If you just leave it as it is, it's going to give you everything. So every time you get a new review, after about 15-20 minutes, when all the automations run, it will run one and it will post that review into your chosen channel and into your chosen team. But if you want to get a bit smarter with it, you can then use these filters. So as you can see down here, we have various rows, and then we have some toggles. So what I'm going to do here is let's just select, let's say this is going to be the kind of good news, like if you have a channel where people just put nice, good feedback from customers, keep everyone kind of motivated and feeling positive, we'll select positive. And maybe we want to be a bit more specific than that. Maybe we just want to get the comments, right? So you can then just toggle that on. And if you don't like that, you can toggle it off again. You can click on that, take away that positive thing and start again. You can then also, at the bottom down here, configure what information is going to be shown. So, for example, in a channel that's shared with the whole team, it's just about, hey, here's a nice comment. Maybe you don't need to put all of these different bits of information in. Maybe you don't want to share the customer's email address. Maybe you just want to show, you got a new review. It was for, this agent or agents, techs, engineers, however you call them in your company. So you can just turn that off. And these were actually always available as options. Or for another example, I was talking about kind of escalating, negative and neutral reviews. So let's select negative and neutral. So you see we've now got just 2 of the 3 selected. That would put every negative and every neutral review into a particular channel. When you're ready, you just click save. I suspect it's not going to fully complete for me just because this is a slightly odd test app. It's like not the real thing. But what you should see when you do it is a success message. What we occasionally find with Microsoft Teams is sometimes it takes a little while to update. Sometimes things don't seem to quite go through the first time, especially if you've only just connected it to Smileback. Sometimes you need to wait a while and try again. Just kind of give it like 15 minutes for all the different Microsoft servers to all communicate with each other. And then if you want to add more, you can just repeat the steps. So you would just go back into Microsoft Teams, open the connectors, and configure it again. So basically, each time you configure it, you can just add a new one. Or if you need to add it to a different team, you can go back to the App Store and again select Smileback and now choose a different team. So maybe you have maybe you use different teams for different parts of your company, or you have certain teams where you like collaborate with customers. You can use it that way. If you want to remove it, again, you can do that inside the connectors configuration inside Teams. And just to make sure, you can also look at the authorizations here inside Smileback. If you update Microsoft Teams and then refresh Smileback, so you should then see those removed.